part of your life that is not growing is a threat to every you. What I'm trying to say is that nobody is created to be one thing. The moment that we were born many things. So the moment you came out of your mother's womb, you were a child. Some of you are brothers, you are sisters, you are cousins, you are nieces, you are nephew. As you keep growing, you become a friend, you become an enemy, you become a colleague, you become an artist. So everyone is more than one thing. The problem that we have sometimes is that we focus our energy so much on becoming good at only one thing, and then we are bad at everything else. But if you are lacking growth in one aspect of your life, that aspect of your life becomes a threat to every other aspect of your life. Anything in your life that is worth investing in, that is not growing, that aspect of your life becomes a threat to other aspects of your life. You must embrace change. For anything to grow, you must embrace change. But change is not growth. So that something is changing does not mean that it is growing. You see, that something is changing does not mean that it has growth. But for anything to have growth, it must change. So change is absolutely inevitable when you talk of growth. If you truly want to grow, you must change. But that you are changing does not mean that you are growing. But change is a form of growth. Change is a requirement for growth. To make any kind of progress, you must move. You can't make progress without moving. But that you are moving does not mean you are making progress. In same light, to have any kind of growth, you must change. But that you are changing doesn't mean that you are growing. But you must embrace the science and the dynamics of change if you truly want to grow. Growth is a proof of life. Growth is a proof of life. Anything that has life should grow. That anything worth investing your time in, anything at all that is worth investing your time in, must have a structure. Because you can't grow without a structure. The essence of growth is built into the structure of everything worth doing and everything worth becoming. Anything that is worth doing and anything that is worth becoming must have a structure, because structure is a prerequisite for any kind of growth. You cannot establish any form of growth without a structure.
I wore blue today. Now I know this does not in any way change the price of rice in the market, but let me land now. Blue is the color of love. Okay, I think I'll rephrase that. Blue is my color of love. Maybe because it is my favorite color, my favorite person's favorite color, or the color that represents the place that I call home and the people that I call family. Blue changed my life. Okay, that sounded so dramatic, but really, it did. The vision of one intentional man is now changing the lives of tens of thousands of young people like myself, raising winners and kings in all spheres of life. Keyword, intentional. The results you see in my life today show exactly what will happen when you intentionally harness the power of the mind. This is what Blue represents. My name is Effie Johnson and I am a product of the winning mindset. I am also kind of like Papa's favorite child. Alright, I'm just kidding. Or am I? Blue is home. Welcome to the winning mindset. Welcome home.
This day. Now, so I've explained what the difference between a career and a job is, but there are other concepts that come to mind when we talk about the career, which I also want to be able to explain. So there is work. Now, work is different from a job, and I'm saying this particularly to those who don't have work, don't have a job, those who are unemployed, those who are fresh graduates out of school, or those who lost their jobs, in the pandemic, or you are unemployed to a degree. And I want to explain this for these people to understand. So I get a lot of people who tell me, Bankole, there are no jobs out there. Even with COVID-19, it's a lot worse. The National Bureau of Statistics recently published, the unemployment rate in our country, Nigeria. And I strongly believe that it was understated. They said the unemployment rate is 27.1%. The last time that measurement was done was in the third quarter of 2018, and then it was 23.1%. Now it is 27.1%. Now, I do believe that that's understated. I strongly believe that it's somewhere between 33 and 35%, because job sites today are getting 5 times more hits, right, in COVID than they were.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are watching from. My name is Precious Chika Emmanuel, and I am excited to welcome you to the February 2021 edition of The Winning Mindset. This month's winning mindset is tag create your space. In a world where it feels like everywhere is saturated, where it feels like anything you want to do, there are a lot of people doing it, where it feels like everybody is just everywhere, you would want to learn how to create your space, how to carve your own space in that busy world, and we're here to teach you how. We have our guest, Mr. Muyiwa. He's ready, and we are all excited to have you. But quickly, I want to welcome you, and I want to know your names and where you're watching from. So if you're already online, I can see a number of us online already. Please tell me your name and tell me where you're watching from. I would like to welcome you specially to this edition of The Winning Mindset. Yeah, I can see a couple of you here. Please, your name and where you are watching from. Are you watching from Nigeria? What state in Nigeria? Are you watching from any other country? Let us know. And also, if this is your first time on The Winning Mindset, you need a special welcome. So let us know that this is the first time you're joining The Winning Mindset. All right, Adisa, welcome. Watching from Lagos, you're welcome. Dennis from Kaduna, you're welcome to The Winning Mindset. We're excited to have you. We know you're in for a good time. There's Joy from Abuja. Joy, you are welcome. You're very welcome. Judith from Kaduna, we welcome you. There is Feyi Sayomi from Ayo Kwe. All right, I think that's a place in Nigeria. So you are very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. There is Emanuela from Anambra State. Emanuela, you are so welcome. We are glad to have you. Okay. Feisayomi is watching from Abuja. Welcome. Thank you. There's Suleiman Mande from Kaduna. We are so excited to have you. I can see your comments here. Just keep them coming. You're welcome. Quickly, the team lead of The Winning Mindset will be coming up to introduce this edition and also bring up the speaker. You are in for an amazing time. You're not only going to learn, you're going to learn how to implement what you've learned. And we are so happy to receive you. You can keep the comments coming. So I welcome you especially before the team lead comes up. Omale, yes, we are glad to have you live too. You are so welcome. Thank you so much. Shamaki from Kano, you are welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in. Yeah, Omale is watching from Kaduna. You're all welcome. All right, keep the comments coming. You are in for a wonderful time. At this point, if you're watching this, you have friends, you have people around you that should be watching this too. They're supposed to benefit from this. All you have to do is please share the link that brought you into this page on your WhatsApp status, your Facebook stories, your Instagram stories, everywhere. Just share it and let people join in so that you all can learn together. We're excited to have you. Welcome to another edition of The Winning Mindset. All right, Nelson Winifred from Adama, you're welcome. Yes, Usman Ibrahim, who says it's his first time. You are so welcome. We're excited to have you. We know this is going to be an amazing experience for you, and you'll be here over and over again. Thank you so much. Otsubelu, you are welcome. Thank you so much. So we're inviting the team lead of the Winning Mindset very briefly to come and introduce the edition, and then he'll bring up the speaker. So please remember to share this link so that your friends can join in, your family members can join in. They all need to learn how to create their own spaces. You're all welcome. Thank you.
Anthony Robbins said that goal setting is the key to converting whatever is invisible into visible. What that simply means is that if you don't set goals, you are going to be invisible. And there are so many of you here today. Your goals are lofty, your goals are beautiful, but they are never real. They are not real not because they cannot be real. They are not real because they were never set. Until you set them, you will hit them. It is goals that validate action. It is goals that give meaning to actions.
In your career, it doesn't always reflect in an increase in size. So the first thing you want to note about growth is that growth is not increase in size. Growth is an improvement in structure. You want to write that down, very key. Anything that will be sustained, anything with the potential for sustenance, anything that is worth investing in must have a structure. Anything that you are doing that lacks structure is suicidal. Now, if everything that is worth doing must have a structure, if everything that is worth doing must have a form of structure, then I'm trying to say to you that for that thing to grow, your structure must improve. The size of that thing may not increase, but the structure of that thing must be improved. So in summary, write this in capital letter. Growth is enhanced structure. Number two, growth is a type of change. What I'm trying to say to you is that for anything to grow, it must change. If you are anti-change, you can never grow. If you repel change, you can never grow. If you are afraid to confront change, you can never grow. For anything to grow, you must embrace change. But change is not growth. So that something is changing does not mean that it is growing. But for anything to have growth, it must change. So change is absolutely inevitable when you talk of growth. If you truly want to grow, you must change. But that you are changing does not mean that you are growing. Change is a requirement for growth. It's like progress. To make any kind of progress, you must move. You can't make progress without moving. But that you are moving does not mean you are making progress. In the same light, to have any kind of growth, you must change. But that you are changing doesn't mean that you are growing. Number three, growth is a proof of life. Anything that has life should grow. So I'm saying to you, anything that is not growing does not have life in it. Any business that is not growing is lifeless. Any marriage that is not growing is lifeless. Any relationship that does not end in growth is lifeless. Because if that relationship has life, it should grow. Number four, any part of you that is not growing is a threat to every you. So let me explain that now. Let me explain that now. Think with me for a second. A man who loves his job, wakes up every morning by 6 a.m., gets ready to go to his work, but every time he comes back home, he has a big fight with his wife. And the fight, the quarrel, they break the plates, they break the pots, they break the cups, and everything is upside down. He's got an amazing job, but he's got a terrible home. What do you think is going to happen to his job eventually? You see, he's growing tremendously as a banker, but he's doing tremendously bad as a husband. You see, imagine again that a man is doing tremendously well as a husband, but doing tremendously bad as a father. Eventually, his bad fatherhood will impact on his good spousehood. Eventually, his bad spousehood will impact on his beautiful career. Any part of your life that is worth investing in, that is not growing, becomes a threat. When I say every you, I'm talking about every other part of you. Any part of your life that is not growing is a threat to every you.
All right. So, all right. Good morning, everyone. It's amazing to be live with you once again. This is the February edition of the Winning Mindset, and Precious has done an amazing introduction. She has welcomed every single one of you that is live with us right now. Some of you have joined after that time, and I welcome you specially. My name is Fee, and I'm the team lead of the Winning Mindset. And one of the things that I always like to do anytime I come up live for this session is to lay some foundations to exactly the reason why you're here. The Winning Mindset is a platform that was born out of something. And once you can understand that, and it becomes easier for you to benefit from the platform. And I'll explain that in a minute, right? Now, one thing that every single person wants to improve, one thing that I have noticed that everybody, no matter who the person is, one thing that everybody wants to improve is results. Everybody wants to improve results. That is constant. That's consistent with practically everyone. People want to improve their results. And I believe it's the same thing for each and every one of you here, right? If you want to improve your results, if you are sure that you are ready to improve your own results, you can go ahead and write in the comment box, write, I am ready to improve my results. Now, one thing that writing does for you is that it affirms what is true. It affirms something that is true. So you can go ahead and write that I am ready to improve my results. So one thing that is consistent with everyone is people want to improve their results, but there's something that's got to be established by the convener, my mentor, Mr. Elisha Maman, and that is the fact that behavior is the greatest driver of results. Behavior is the greatest driver of results. That means to improve any kind of results, to improve any kind of output, to improve anything at all that you would want to change in your life, one of the major and the easiest and the most effective way to do that is to adjust your behavior. Why? Because the way you behave ultimately affects the outcome that comes out of it. Let me give a very practical example, right? Now, you want to improve your finances, for example. One of the behaviors you will need to have to improve your finances is the behavior of saving. If you can adjust your savings behavior, if it is not everything that comes to you that you go ahead and you spend immediately, that ultimately affects your finances. Why? Because you have made an adjustment in the behavior. So your behavior affects your result. The winning mindset exists to help you, give you principles that are both timely and timeless, that can help you adjust your behavior, modify your behavior in such a way that the results you're getting begins to change automatically. That is why each of these sessions have been put in place. So every session focuses on one part of your behavior. It can be relationships, it can be money, it can be things that are intricate to you. Every session has a way of adjusting one part of your behavior, your discipline, your consistency, your action. And today's session is not different at all. Today's session is one of those sessions that goes ahead to talk about a behavior you will need to adjust to get the results. Now, the results we are looking at today is creating your own space. Creating your own space, very important. And we'll be having someone that is amazing, someone that has done this for his own self, someone that has gone ahead to break many barriers to create a space for himself. And it's going to be an amazing session. It's one that I'm looking forward to myself, and I'm sure that you are too. Before we bring it up, I think I'll just say one or two things just so that we can introduce, right? There's something that's happened, right, growing up, and I think it's something that I'll just share here. Growing up, I did not really have the freedom to do a lot, and I think it's quite typical for most Nigerian homes, right? But I think mine was a bit more stricter, right? The whole idea of you going from school back home, you're staying home, you can't go anywhere, you're not allowed to go anywhere. your friends are screened, they are screened until they are frustrated and they will not be your friend again. That's how bad it was, right? Because there was nothing like, oh, what's party? How do you want to do it? In which house? You understand? So that was how I was raised. I was raised in that manner from my childhood. It was that way. It was that way. And I think one of the only things that looked like recreation for me was even going to church. And that's not recreational. It's just, that's like the opportunity you have to go out. But that was how I grew up. It was quite strict. Although now I know the benefits, but as at then, it was really, really, really strict. Really, really strict. Okay. I remember there was a time, one of the things that this did to me, right, was my ability to really study at home. I remember vividly a particular time. I think that was in, sometime in my primary school thereabouts, right? I remember a particular time where I'll be staying up quite late at night. My elder brother, who was my first mentor actually, because he taught me a lot, my elder brother would stay up with me late at night and would sit down on this mat. Some of you know this raffia mats. There was a time like that. I know presently the whole turtleneck blazer and stuff like that, but we'll sit down on this raffia mat, right? And we'll use a kerosene lantern. Did anyone use a kerosene lantern before? If you did, just let me know in the comment box. If you want to use that, right? So we used to use a kerosene lantern, right? This one that you have to, when the glass around it becomes smoky, if I should use that word, you have to clean it, make it shine brighter, and wow, it was quite an experience. So we did those things those days, and we'll use that lamp and we'll stay up on that mat solving mathematics. My elder brother taught me something profound. He said that if I can solve every single exercise in each chapter, the test or exam for any maths course or math-related course at all becomes 80 to 90% easier. Because there's practically nothing they want to ask you that will not revolve around one of the things you've solved before. It doesn't have to be the exact same question, but it will be something related. So we did things like that. We went through those questions. I remember I would feel quite sleepy around 11 something, and you'll be like, okay, if you can go through this time, you'll not feel sleepy again. It was true. Once it gets to 12 or 1 o'clock, I'm not feeling sleepy anymore. In fact, I'll be looking for the sleep and it won't come. Right? Now, why am I saying this? I'll tell you why. Something happened around that time, right? Back then in primary school, when you get to school, when you get to the class, right? Something happens. There's what is called a roll call. How many of you remember a roll call, right? Where you're seated in the class and your teacher is like, you're seated in class and your teacher is like, all of you should sit down, and they will do what is called roll call. Show me a minute. Okay, great. So they'll do what is called the roll call, right? So what happens is everybody sits down and they start calling the names. Which name should I use? Let me see if I can get some names from the comments, right? I don't know which of your names I'm going to use right now. I'm trying to check the live chat. So we're going to do a very quick roll call right now, right? Let me see if I can use the live chat. Okay, still loading. So there is, I can see Joy Adaja, for example, and Joy would say present. They will call Shina Omoshin. I hope I got your pronunciation right. If I did, please forgive me. Right? So they will call your name and the person say present. They'll say Grace Kalu, for example. Grace, you have to answer present in the chat box. Emanuela Otubelu, and Emanuela say present. They will make that roll call till they call everybody in the class, and everybody will say present. But that started changing. When I got to the university, I found out that attendance was compulsory. You must get to a point where you can attend a certain number of lectures for you to graduate. But things were different. There was no more the roll call. They will pass an attendance sheet around and say you have to write your own name by yourself. That was a different thing. At a particular stage in your growth, people are calling your name. People are asking if you're present. People are, saying, okay, is this person here? Is this person in class? Is that person in class? There's a high level of care for your presence at a particular level of your growth. But then when you grow higher than that, it changes. You have to be the one to demand for that paper and write your name by yourself. That is you getting to that point where you know that you have increased your growth to a point where you need to create your own space. There's a stage of your growth where you cannot wait for your name to be called. You cannot wait for people to get to that point where they are looking for you. No. At that stage of your growth, you have to look at life and decide to write your name. Decide that there will be a space for you. You have to get to that level of growth where you know that although there was a time when it was easier for you to be recognized, it was easier for you to be looked for, to be sought after, that has changed. You are growing, you're not the same. So you're at a point where you have to use persistence, discipline, consistency, and aggressive personal development to say that my name must be written. My name must be called. My name must be, mentioned when they are mentioning the names of people that are in this life. That's the point where, many of us have been pushed towards. That's why those are the mindsets that sponsor the actions we take. Those are the mindsets that sponsor the things that we do. Knowing that you are no more at the stage where people are looking for you. No. You create your demand by yourself. You create your presence by yourself. You establish your presence by yourself. And there's no way you can do that with just a lazy mindset, with just a mindset that is passive about life. It is not possible. And that's why today's session is really, really important, because we would actually be learning how to create your own space. You must have seen many people doing that in their own lives, doing that in their own personal businesses. You must have seen people that you admire go ahead and create things for themselves. But what about you? How do you create your own space? And that's why I'll need every single one of you to not just be here present, but go ahead and share the link of the program right now with as many of your friends as possible that you want to win together with. Let them join in as we go ahead and learn exactly the step-by-step method of creating your own space. Are we ready for this? If you're ready, go ahead and type in the comment box, I am ready. The next person that will be coming up is my mentor, my father, and also the convener of the Winning Mindset. He will be coming up next. It's something that every single time I have the privilege of introducing him, it's something that always takes me back to the beginning of this version of me, the beginning of the version of me that had full responsibility for himself, that had the ability to think of what I must do, what must I do to get to this level that I need to get to. That is where it came from. The beginning of the phrase, your life is your business. That's where it gets to. So the next person that will be coming up, most likely after one of the videos gets played right now, is my mentor and my father, Mr. Elijah Mama. Just stay tuned and let's continue the Winning Mindset. You're welcome.
The person who has the database is the one who has the power, okay? The person with the database is the one who has the power, all right? All right, so let's move on now to how to offload people from rented platforms like Facebook and Instagram over to your own platform, which is your email list and maybe your Telegram and co. Okay, there is one thing everybody here needs to master. Guys, get it. Don't be sleeping. Yeah, you need to get this. There is one thing that every single king must master on social media: Facebook advertising. Facebook advertising. We talk about this all the time, that a person who is doing business without advertising is like a person who is winking in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. You've got to learn to advertise on Facebook. So when you can learn to, and let me tell you the power of Facebook advertising, you can target people with specificity. So you can target people in Lagos between the ages of 19 to 25 who are interested in tailoring or fashion or shoes or bags. You can target based on gender, sometimes even based on the kind of work that they do, sometimes even based on their income level. That is how powerful Facebook is. There's something called the Facebook Blueprint program. I don't know why it hasn't gotten much notoriety, though I've been talking about it for a while, but it's a program that was created by Facebook, all right, to help you learn how to create Facebook ads, and it's totally free. So, I know that there are other courses out there on Facebook ads which you can buy. There's nothing wrong with that, But if you're just starting, you don't have money to start yet, you can go and enroll for free in the Facebook Blueprint program. Make sure that you always have a notoriety budget. Listen, guys. This principle will separate you from those who have been toiling on the streets of social media for 10 years with slow and steady growth versus a person who just comes to the industry and takes it by storm. And in no distant time, they have grown a large audience, okay? And that is because I always had a notoriety budget, okay? What is a notoriety budget? From whatever your income is every month, okay? So set aside an amount of money, part of your income every single month, that should go into paid advertising for more people to know you. Listen, guys. Kings are territorial, all right? You may have seen my post where I talk about the average African is tribal in nature. Now, people confuse the word tribal with tribalistic. They're not the same thing. They're similar words, but they're not the same thing. Tribalistic is the bad part. Tribalistic is where you discriminate against other people based on their tribe. That's not what I'm saying. I said tribal, okay? Tribal means when you are more engaged with the activities of a tribe without much desire to step outside of the tribe and engage with people of other tribes. They're two different things. Tribal is not, but you're not being bad to other people. Tribal means you're just engrossed with your tribe. Tribalistic is where you are harmful or discriminatory to people of other tribes. So they're two different things. So I said the average African is tribal in nature, but the average European is territorial in nature. I'll say it again. The average African is tribal in nature. We work in groups, people we're familiar with. But the average European is territorial. They go forward, they explore from Europe and all those other countries. They came towards Africa. Ensure that you have the territorial mindset. Don't just be the local champion of your industry. I've always been madly territorial. I want people in Uganda to know me. I want people in Kenya to know me. I want the South Africans to know me. I want the Europeans to know me. I want the Brazilians to know me. I want the Americans to know me. Before I leave the earth, I want everyone to know me. And
this day. Now, so I've explained what the difference between a career and a job is, but there are other concepts that come to mind when we talk about the career, which I also want to be able to explain. So there is work. Now, work is different from a job, and this is, I'm saying this particularly to those who don't have work, don't have a job, those who are unemployed, those who are fresh graduates out of school, or those who lost their jobs, in the pandemic, or you are unemployed to a degree. And I want to explain this for these people to understand. So I get a lot of people who tell me, Bankole, there are no jobs out there. Even with COVID-19, it's a lot worse. The National Bureau of Statistics recently published, the unemployment rate in our country, Nigeria. And I strongly believe that it was understated. They said the unemployment rate is 27.1%. The last time that measurement was done was in the third quarter of 2018, and then it was 23.1%. Now it is 27.1%. Now, I do believe that that's understated. I strongly believe that it's somewhere between 33 and 35%, because job sites today are getting 5 times more hits, right, in COVID than they were before COVID. So if 5 times the number of people are visiting job sites, then it tells you that quite a number of people are looking for work. Now, whilst they may not seemingly be jobs, and I do believe that there are jobs, and I'll explain that, because there are jobs, it's just that we don't have the people with the skill for the jobs that exist. So people need to understand that with the adjustment that has happened with COVID and with the future of work, there are certain competencies that are necessary for you to begin to develop, so that you can be adequately prepared for the opportunities for work that exist today. So people are recruiting. I know someone who's been trying to recruit for a particular role for going to 7 months now. Now, you say there are no jobs. There is a job, but the kind of skill that he's looking for, he hasn't found. So people need to begin to learn, go and read and research about the future of work and the competencies that are necessary for you to excel in these times, so that you can upskill and be adequately prepared for the opportunities. So whilst I do understand that the amount of jobs available, right, are not enough when we compare them with the number of graduates that universities are churning out. So there is that mismatch. However, I do believe that there is work, right? There might not be jobs, but there is work. There's a distinction, right? Like I said, a job is a short-term engagement. So it's a formal engagement you go into for which the value you bring, you are paid a salary for that. That's a job. Work is different. Work is a problem that is waiting for somebody to pick it up. Did you hear what I said? Work is a problem that is waiting. It exists. It's waiting for somebody to pick it up and find a viable solution to solve it. Now, when that solution is found, that solution can be traded as value in exchange for money. So there is more than enough work. In fact, there is more than enough work, and I dare say, in comparison to the number of unemployed people. However, a lot of unemployed people are looking for jobs. And I do hope that you guys are getting what I'm saying. How do I know that there is work? The more problems we have in society,
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's good to see every one of you. I'm excited to be here as always. And I'm glad you are joining in from everywhere across Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Thank you for joining us for the February edition of the Winning Mindset. I was here when Fee was speaking, and I enjoyed a particular illustration. While we were in primary school, they just called you and you will say present. But by the time you get to the university, and that simply means by the time you have grown to an extent, you need to demand. The word is you need to place a demand for your name to be written, for your name to be heard, for your person to be recognized. And that is an amazing illustration. Like you have heard, we here believe that life is about results. We believe strongly that wisdom is truly justified by our children. We strongly believe that every seed should become fruits. And because of that, we are concerned about things that help you improve your life, improve your potential, and improve your productivity so you can become fruitful and effective in life. And today is no different from all other winning mindset. It will be awesome, amazing, and very, very impactful. Fee has set the tone, and I will be introducing the speaker today. I want you to pay attention to two words. I'll leave you with two words. Don't worry, I'm not teaching. I want to learn how to create my space. Two words: place. Write it down. Place and space. Place and space. If you want to ever have influence, if you want to ever have power, if you want to ever have income, if you want to ever have glory, these results that we all seek, if you want them to become consistent in your life, if you want them to become every day in your life, if you want your life and every other thing you are doing to continue to gain expression, you must understand place and space. Many of us are drunk. Many of us are obsessed about the space, and we forget that it is the place that determines the space. Now, the place is about positioning. The space is about occupation, is about spread, is about influence. Space is the outcome of being in place. Which of you will light the lantern and put it under the bushel? The lantern is to give light to the room. The lantern is to give light to the space. But if the lantern will give light to the space, the lantern must first be in place. If the lantern is not in place, its ability to occupy space will be faulty, will be ineffective. So that the lantern carries light, it is not enough. That the lantern has oil, it is not enough. The lantern that carries light, the lantern that carries oil must be in place to occupy its space. Place is about positioning. Space is about occupation. Occupy till I come. Take charge till I come. Space is about taking charge. An industry. It's about taking charge. A city. It's about taking charge. A family. It's about taking charge. A career. Space is about influence. It's about dominion. It's about occupation. But place is about positioning. It is about setting. Very important. And that's what I'm going to leave you here with today. I saw somebody write, please, Daddy, teach. Don't worry. That's why we brought Muyiwa for you today. Muyiwa is an amazing life coach. He's an amazing life coach and trainer and consultant. He's also an author of several books. And I believe strongly that Muyiwa is going to be doing an amazing thing. You see, Muyiwa's Fasakin is Africa's leading creative intelligence expert. And he's the first African to be on the advisory board of the World Creativity and Innovation Day. Muyiwa is also the convener of the World Change Summit with members from all over the world. As a life coach, he is certified. He's also my brother and my DNA friend from the John Maxwell team. Muyiwa Fasakin has a BSc, an MSc in economics, and a former university professor and lecturer. He is young but loaded. He is young but handsome. He is young and he is doing extremely well. He is the lead consultant and coach of Sure Success Consultancy and Coaching Academy. And he's also the convener of the Just Graduate Summit and Just Entrepreneurship Summit. This is not just profile. This is the story of a man that found his place and is occupying his particular space. Ladies and gentlemen, the Winning Mindset team and community, join me as I welcome Mr. Muyiwa Fasakin.
Thank you very much, Elisha. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I listened to the analysis you made about the place and space, and I must say categorically and without been hiding under any shade that I never got that perspective before. This is the first time I am looking at that perspective. And I think it should be a separate topic. One day you take that. I think it should be a separate topic, because I just got it now and I was wow that I never saw it like this before. But it's amazing. So thank you very much for that knowledge. And there's no trivial information. That information, I'm going to use it with your permission. I'm going to use it. The only thing is that if I make money, if I make money from it, I might not give you.
I'll collect that. Good to have you, sir. Good to have you, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So I start off the class by saying this, that much has been said already. So I just want to go dive straight into what I have here. And I believe that we are taking our place already, because we're talking about creating your space. And the best thing to do in order to create your space and claim your space is to be in the proper place you should be, the place God wants you to be. Okay, if you are the right place that God has positioned you, then it's easy for you to create your space. That is what's going to happen. Okay, so creating your space. There are three kinds of people I know that we have in this world. Number one, people that try to find their space. Number two, people that try to create their space. Number three, people, they've not found their space. They've not created their space. Maybe they have no space, or maybe they don't know what to do. Like William Shakespeare said. Shakespeare said, we do not have failures in this world. We only have men and women who know not how to succeed. In other words, the only problem they have is the problem of how. How many of us are into that problem of how? How do I succeed? How do I make it? How do I get there? How do I make it in life? How? So some don't even know what to do. But I don't know if I can help those people today. But I'm here for those. Number one, you are thinking of finding your space. Two, you are thinking, well, I've not found my space. Maybe I should create my space. Two. Then three, maybe I can help those people too. Maybe those people are saying, I've not found my space. I can't create a space. Where do I belong? Those kind of people, they should be pitied, because it's going to be very, very hard for them. It's going to be tough for them. You can't find a space. You can't create a space. You are just there. And that's why people ask me, and they say, how are you, Muyiwa? And they say, I'm not there. I say, oh, I'm not there. I'm not just in one place. It's either I find my space, and if I can't find it, I create it. Now, let me quickly go and let me say this quickly before I move to my slide. The people that find their space, maybe you had a first class degree, maybe second class upper, maybe second class lower. You know, how is second class upper? And every time you go to school, you are coming out of school, graduating to find your space. Maybe in the labor market, you want to find your space. Maybe as a banker, you read accounting, you want to work in an accounting firm, you're a medical doctor, you read medicine. You want to find your space in the career world. You want to find your space in the labor market. That is finding your space. And certificates helps you in finding your space. That's the best certificate can do for you. Your certificate has the capacity to some extent to help you find. Look at the word I use. Find, not create your space. Find a space. That's what certificate can do for you. It helps you to find your space. So, you know, I'm an accountant because I read accounting. I'm an economist because I read economics. Okay? I'm an engineer, civil engineer, because I read civil engineering. So you're already going to find your space in the career world, in the labor market. You're going to find your space. Say, what course to do with? I'm a civil engineer. Okay, there's a job in one civil engineering company, because that's your space you are looking for. But can I shock you? Your certificate is absolutely limited. Your finding your space place a limitation on the place or the level of what you can accomplish in life if you are just finding your space. Now, what you can get is salary.
Those that find their space, what they get is what? Salary. And that's why we have a lot of unemployment. Everybody is finding space. 95% of the graduates, they want to find their space. And there is no space most of the time, no jobs. And I said this very profoundly, and I'll repeat it here. To be jobless is a choice, and to be unemployed is absolutely a decision. To be jobless is a choice, and to be unemployed is a decision. Because the reason you are unemployed is because you are finding your space, and you get there and there's no space. Oh, I read accounting. You have checked through all the accounting firms and banks and businesses, and there is no space. I can't find my space. I'm jobless. I can't find my space. I'm unemployed. It's because you were finding a space. Let's take, for example, you go to a party, and you get to the party, and the chairs are filled up. And so I came for this party, so I was invited. I graduated to, I had 2-1, I had 2-2. I came for this party because I have an invite. And you eventually, you look for a space, but you couldn't find a space to sit down. What do? Do you turn back home and say, why are you coming back home? I had no space. The party is filled up. All chairs are occupied. Or you go for a crusade or a program, a concert that you, maybe great speakers and psalmists, they will be coming there. And you get to the venue, and all chairs are filled up. You say, oh, let me go back home. Why? The spaces are filled up. All chairs are occupied. That's wrong. It's because you were finding a space. And that's the mentality we go about as graduates. You get out of school finding a space. You find a space in the labor market, and the space is not there. You say, I like to work in the oil company, and the space is not there. You say, I like to work in CBN, and the space is not there. And you want to work in the banking sector, you want to work in the textile industry, you want to work in the agri sector, and all you say is that there is no job, there is no space. You lie. Permit me to use the word lie. You lie. That there is no space does not mean a space can be created. Did you get that? That there is no space doesn't necessarily mean that space can't be created. In fact, I always do use this analogy. And I tell you, if you're going to, I don't know where, okay, most of us are in Kaduna and some other places. Okay, I think I know Banawa, is it Banawa in Kaduna? And maybe they block the way to Banawa. Okay, if I'm not right with the name, don't worry about that. They block the way to Banawa, and you want to go to Banawa, and you said you wanted to go, and you just see they said road blocked or road closed because maybe construction work taking place there, and you turn back, and somebody asks you, I thought you said you were going to Banawa. Say yes, the road is blocked. Can I quickly make this clear? Road can be blocked, but way cannot be blocked. You can block a road, but you cannot block a way. You can block a road to success, but you cannot block the road. You cannot block the way to success because there are many ways. So if you cannot go through that known route to Banawa, there are other routes you can follow to Banawa. So the problem we have is that we are used to a pattern. We are used to an approach. So you want to leave school to go and find a job. Look at the word used. Sir, I'm through with school. I'm finding a job. That's why you failed yourself. The finding mindset will not allow you to see the creative opportunities all over the environment because you are finding a space. You are not thinking of creating a space. And those that find space, if you eventually get a space, all you can get is salary. The reward for finding space is salary. Let that sink to you. Let it go. Let it go. The reward you can have to find a space is what? Salary. You just get salary. You paid wages and you are happy. And you cannot be wealthy. When I say wealthy, I'm not talking about wealthy, having small money. I have 1 million. I mean wealthy just by finding a space. You can eat. Yes, finding a space can make you can provide basic meals. Finding a space. You can have little money in your pocket. Finding space. But I'm talking about massive wealth. Mark Zuckerberg level. Elon Musk. I mean, those are the levels I'm talking about today. That is, those people didn't find space. They created their space. That's why I'm talking about creating your own space. Not all of us will create space, I'm aware. Not all of us. But most people are comfortable in finding space. And unfortunately, they don't even get that space. Everywhere is almost occupied. I know you want to work in Chevron. I know you want to work in NNPC. You want to work in CBN. You want to work in Standard Chartered Bank, because that's a bank that you should work with if you want to work with bank. You know, those people don't talk about targets and all that, but it's fine. You want to work with, massive engineering company. You want to work with LG. You want to work with, big telecommunications company. But you are just finding space. And the space is not always available. That's the truth. The space is not always available. That's why we have unemployment on the increasing side. People are looking for space that they are not just available. Can I quickly help you? Please, you can move my slide to the first slide. Let me say something about space. Maybe you should understand. Look, I don't like to check dictionary for definition, but let me tell you the first definition, the definitions I saw when I check what is a space, just from the dictionary. I'm not used to checking. When I want to speak, I don't check dictionaries. But I just said, let me look at what space says in the dictionary. I realized that space has three components. One, space is available. It's always available. Two, space is unoccupied. Three, space is free. But can I let you know, it's only your space that is in that category. That means your space is always available. Your space, not the labor market space. Your space. There is a space you have the capacity, you have been endowed and enabled to create if you look towards that side. If you get the right mindset towards creating that space. But most of our mindset is of finding space. I want to work in the oil company. So you are finding your space there. And there might not be a space for you there. You're finding your space in CBN. There might not be a space for you in CBN. You're finding, I want to work. Oh, I saw ECOWAS, Abuja. I love to work in ECOWAS. I read international relations and all that. And you are looking for a space in ECOWAS, in OPEC. And your space is not there. But the good news, ladies and gentlemen, is that your space, if it's your space, is always available. Number two, your space is always unoccupied as long as it's your space. So you must even know, if you don't even know your space, you are in trouble, because you just be going up and down. And that is because you don't know your place. If you don't know your place, you will apply for prison services. You want to be one of the, is it prison security men or porters? You will apply because you don't even know your place. So you cannot even see your space. Let me borrow the word of Elisha Mama. If you don't know your place, it's difficult to get your space right. In the words of Elisha, that is the truth. So the problem you have is your certificate. Sorry for using that phrase. Your problem is your certificate. It has entered you. That 2-1, that first class, you think that is the alpha and the omega of your career. You are wrong. Some of us, we need to create our space. And some people are waiting for our space to become employed. Did you get that? Some people are waiting for our space to become employed. Some people also will never be employed because they are still trying to find their space. And they are looking for people like you to create space so that they can find their space in your space. That's the truth. That's the truth. So your space is available. Your space is unoccupied. No hazards. No hazard. Your space is unoccupied and your space is free. That's what's painful to me. Your space is free. but because you are finding that lucrative job, which your space is not there, and you can't get there. And even if you get there, because you go and share testimony in the church, thank God I got a job, they are paying me 250,000 per month. Your space can provide more than that to you in a day. That's your space. Let me tell you about my story before I move on. I used to be a university lecturer, and I lectured for 7 years. But I will not bore you with that. I used to be, because I'm no more, a resource person for Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, Nigeria, CIS, Nigeria, if you know CIS. Very, very amazing opportunity I had in CIS, Nigeria. When I go to lecture economics for them in revision class of CIS, I lectured bank managers, directors, top people all over Nigeria. I lectured them at that level. But I was paid 40,000 naira for about 18 hours. I start on Friday, I start on Saturday, 9 a.m. I finish 5 o'clock, about relatively 9 hours. So I do that Saturday and Sunday. The revision class is Saturday and Sunday, 18 hours of lecture, and they pay me 40,000 naira. That was, I found a space with CIS. I found that space. I found the space. But when I created my space, because I'm in my space now, I created this space. When I created my space now, that 18 hours, if I should invest it rightly, I can have a 1.5 million. If I invest that 18 hours rightly, which I'm doing already, and I make that, I can have up to 1.5 or 2. If I can, because, okay, for example, the teenagers class I take in creative intelligence, I take it 1 hour and it's for 12 times. That's 12 hours. And if you had the money together, naturally, it should be in that range. If I have everybody paid, I will have more than 1.something million in that hour, 12 hours. And I was using 18 hours to get 40,000 because I found a space in CIS. I never created my space. My salary as a university lecturer in 2 years in my creative intelligence class, I make it in almost 4 to 5 months. 3, 4, 5 months, I make salary of 2 years. Why? I created my space because my space was free. It was ever available. It was always unoccupied. It is my space. So the question that you'll be asking me now is, oh God, sir, how can I create my space? That should be what should be bothering you now. I know you found your space. You are earning so much. Congratulations. But when you create your space, what you can earn, you can ask Mark Zuckerberg, ask Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and ask them, all those people, Alibaba, Jack Ma, ask them, Steve Jobs, ask them. They made more because they created their space. So if you're not creating any space and you just want to find your space, good luck. And some people will always find their space. They will never create a space. But if you want to create a space, it means you are expecting a degree of wealth. That's what those that create their space look out for. So number one, you can move the slide. Now, how to create your space? How do I create my space? You can move the slide. Okay. How do I create my space? Number one. Are you ready? And you need to, if you can't get this down, you need to get it down. Everybody listening to me everywhere in the world, you will need to get this down. You can screenshot it. Yeah, you can screenshot any way you want to do it. Get it. If you have any question later, because if I can't capture the questions now, you can reach out to me. My name is in the Facebook. Now let's go back to, okay, so how to create your space. Number one, look within yourself. Your space is within you. If you're in the right position, if you're at the right place, then you can look into yourself. Your space is within you. I love that. Your space is within you. There is a woman in Lagos, a millionaire, selling, you know what she's selling? Guess what she's selling? Moi. You know what moi? Moi, that's what she's selling. Moi, millionaire. Selling moi. It's a space. It's not what you are doing in your space. only. Even how you are doing it in your space matters a lot. Just selling moi and she's a millionaire. There are many people that have discovered their space within. They look within themselves. Number two, look for your gifts, talent, unique ability. Look for your gifts. Look for it. There is something unique about you. I remember the story of Peter and John said, silver or gold I do not have, but such that I have. There is something in me that can make the difference because it's about my space. So there is something in you. There's a talent, there's an ability in you that can power your space. Check it. That unique quality. Those things they say, oh, you are so good. You can just make people to laugh and forget themselves. Alibaba does that. And in about 1.5 hours sometimes, or it collects about 4 to 5 million naira because it can just make people to laugh. And you can just discover that that's my space. And there's a unique ability powering that space. And it makes so much money. My goodness. I heard Alibaba said that. He said he handled a program about 6-7 years ago. And they paid him 3 million naira for just 1.5 hours or so. It's his space. There is no place, there is no university or institutions higher institution in the world that offers comedy as a course. There's no course like comedy in the university or polytechnic or monotechnic. There's no course like comedy. But somebody just discovered his space. He created it. There was no job for him. He just created it. I told people, I share this story. I want to speak when I still found my space as a lecturer. I want to speak at Leeds City University. It's a private university in Ibadan. I want to speak there at their that's Leeds City University. They call it all this week, politics and international relations week and all that. And I was a guest lecturer when I was still lecturing. And when I was through, they graciously gave me, I came from Jos, and they graciously gave me 50,000 naira. And they felt I should jubilate. I should be excited. 50,000 naira. They called Sheyi Law. Sheyi Law is a comedian. I'm talking about 5-6 years ago. Sheyi Law is a comedian. In the evening, just to entertain them and just crack jokes. Some of the jokes I was there, they were not funny jokes at all. They weren't funny. You know how much they gave Sheyi Law? They gave him 200,000. I had an MSc trying to pursue my PhD then. I don't have that interest, but then I was trying to look at the PhD and all that, and they gave me 50,000. Sheyi Law, I'm not sure if he was through with first degree or is it we ended up OND or whatever. They paid him 200,000. Is that not interesting to you? Someone just created his space as a comedian, created his joke as a comedian, and is earning ×4 what a university professor supposedly should be earning. That's crazy. That's crazy. So the problem is that you have not looked inward for the gifts, for that uniqueness, unique abilities you have. Number 3, get adept in it. Be skillful. You need to be skillful. Talent is not enough. You've got to be adept in it. Get the skill. You want to be an inspirational speaker. So I want to be like Elisha. I want to be like Muyiwa. No. Get skilled in it. You just wake up one morning, you call yourself a life coach. Say, I'm a life coach. Where? Who certified you? Where did you get your coaching skill? You are not skilled because people say you can talk. You have big grammars and you just felt you're a coach already. That's not how to become a coach. Get skilled in it because it's your space. It's your space. So you must be adept in everything about your space. Number 4, develop yourself in it. Start developing yourself. Start working on yourself. Read books. Listen to messages. Listen to inspirational speakers. Just get all you need to get to develop yourself because it's all about your space now. Don't forget, it's your space. It's your space. So you need to put everything possible. Develop yourself there. Number 5, I guess, showcase it as often as you can. Showcase it. Let people know what you do. Even if it's for free. If you're into cooking business and you want to make your space in the catering world, that's your space. And you don't have to do what others are doing. Create your own space within even the catering industry. I told a lady I met recently, I said, all the ladies, out of 10 ladies I meet now, 8 are into makeup or makeover. I said, why? Is that the only thing we can do? And they do it the same way every other person will do it. There's nothing different to show that this is your own space in that makeup industry. In any industry, you can create your own space. You don't have to do exactly what others are doing or the way they are doing theirs. It's your space, don't forget. And you are trying to create your space. Because when people notice that your space is unique, they can pay anything to get into your space, to learn from your space, to get the value from your space. And that's what is happening. In my creative intelligence class, people plead. I was telling my mentor, Professor Afonso in the US, he's a professor of economics in the US. He asked me, so how much do you collect for your creative intelligence class? When I mentioned it, I said, so dollars. They must say, what? Muyiwa, that is much. Well, it's my space. It's my space. I didn't find it. I created it. I created the curriculum. I got the endorsement. It's my space. What are you talking about? It's my space. I cut to earn in dollars. It's my space. So people from the US want to do the course. People from everywhere in the world want to do it. I have a student in my class from Saudi Arabia. He's a professor in Saudi Arabia. He's in my creative intelligence class. It's my space. It paid me the money. I collected it. It's my space. Create your space. One money somebody pays is like my 3-month salary or 2 months salary at times. One time payment is like 2 months, 2 months salary when I was lecturing. Can you imagine that? It's my space. I created it with the help of God, of course, with the help of the Holy Spirit, of course. You know, I might not have apology for that, saying the Holy Spirit has helped me. There's no way I can put it. Gave me the inspiration, gave me models. As of today, I have created about 4 models accepted internationally. I have the flight model, I have the rapted model, I have the cap apple approach to innovative teaching, and I have the Prague model of change management. I mean, these are acceptable. I created it. It's my space. That's what I do in my space. If you want to use it to acknowledge me, sometimes you call me to come and take it, and I collect money to take that class. It's my space. Now, look out for the best in the field or that industry. After you have checked, so start looking out for the best in that industry so that you can follow. If you're going to go to inspirational speaking, like Elisha and other things he's doing, you know, you got to follow. Look for a mentor to some extent. You need to follow somebody, even if it's from a distance. You need to follow. So you just even know what is obtainable in this industry. You need that information. You need that information. Then the next thing is consciously deviate from what is obtainable in that field, because you want to create your space. There is a need to disrupt. There's a need to deviate. When I say deviate, I'm not saying do the wrong thing. I'm saying that you will begin to do what is not common in that field. For example, let me give an example. There is a caterer. Okay, it's my elder sister. It's a caterer. And you know, everybody is talking about catering. If you're not doing catering, fashion design, and the makeup, those are the 3 things. I don't know the last one. For females, catering, fashion design, then makeup, and all that. My sister is into catering. So she went to pitch, just make, she was called in a big church. They wanted to do, I think, a convention, and they are going to have thousands of people to cook for. So they need you to bid for it. To bid for that job is a massive job. Was a massive job. You know what my sister said when she got there? When they said, okay, tell us about yours. When she was giving them, she said it's divided to 2 or 3 parts. She divided her own to 2 or 3 parts. She said, this one, I have a meal for health-related people. I have a meal for those who are not too conscious about health. And I have a one that is neutral. No other caterer talked about that. All of them were just, hey, rice is this, goat meat. She got the job. She got her space right. It was not just about being in the catering industry. What are you doing differently in that industry? That's your space. That's where you make your big money from. What you are doing differently. So she told them that we can have sauce for those who are like diabetic patients, their high blood pressure. I mean, she mesmerized. It was powerful. She just got them off their chairs. They were excited. They gave her the job. So you're there, you are just thinking of the regular. That's what I'm saying. That's how to create your space. You create your space by, just deviating, bring something new to the table. That's where you make your money in your space. Because if you're just doing what others are doing, you have just come to do another thing, the same thing. But when you come up with something slightly different from the regular, then your space will be patronized. Next one. Okay, meditate on another way of doing it better and more interesting. I've said that already. Meditate on another way of doing it better and more interesting. Wait for feedback and make adjustment when necessary. Wait for feedback. When you just, you do some stuff, wait for feedback. Let people give you the feedback. Then adjust. Lastly, stay with what you have now because that is the space you have created. So you stay with what you have. You stay with what you have. And your space can be in any field. It can be in a field that has not been generating interest. Don't bother. As long as you have what it takes to power the space, your space will attract the funds you need. Can I say that again? As long as you have what it takes, the ability, the unique qualities you have, the talent to power your space will attract the fund you need directly into your space. And that's the truth. So when you have created your space, I don't know if I put this down, how to claim it. Let's go to the next slide as a roundup. How to claim your space. You don't have to claim it because it's now your space. You have created your space. You need to claim, because if you don't claim it, anybody can walk into your space and take over your space. Creative intelligence is my space, as in the training. Sincerely, I was not the one that invented creative intelligence as a course or anything, but people were not taking it as training. And God directly made the inspiration came. Why can't you make creative intelligence your training? So I got a curriculum. I was the one that formed all the curriculum you have. I did that myself with the help of the Holy Spirit. I did the curriculum. I had a model. God gave me a model, raptured model of creative intelligence, the first ever of its kind in the world. It's God that gave me that. It's my space. God found that it's my space. And it helped me in that space. That's the truth. So I gave it a name, Creative Intelligence Certification Class. That's the name I gave it. There was no training like that. I gave it that name. And I don't think there's a training like that up to now, if you Google it. There are schools, few universities now taking the course Creative Intelligence. Very few. Not up to 1% of schools in the world taking that course. But the truth is that, okay, I don't have the pictures there. I had an interview yesterday with the public relations team of World Creativity and Innovation Week, Miami University. They wanted to interview me. They got across to me. About 4 or 5 team leaders interviewed me, and they asked about creative intelligence. They wanted to know about it. They said, one of these days, I'm going to help them out with it. I was supposed to take creative intelligence last year. I was invited to Miami University, Oxford, Ohio, last year to take creative intelligence to give the faculties, talk to the faculties, the students, and the African diaspora. That is what I do. It's my space. They said they've not invited anybody like that before, but they just wanted me to come with my space so that people will benefit from the space. Somebody wanted to do the course. They went to the website. They referred the person from their website, international website, to me. It's my name they mention. When anything about creative intelligence in the World Creativity and Innovation Week, Oxford, Ohio, Muyiwa Fasakin comes first. That's my space. You have your space. It's free. It's available. It's unoccupied. Your space is unoccupied. You've got to look for that space, then claim it. Number one, give it a name. Give your space a name. A girl told me one time, he said, I think I have an idea about having what we call Jos Errand Girl. What they want to do in Jos Errand Girl is, people don't want to go out because of this COVID. And I'm available. I will recruit girls. You can send anywhere you want to send and pay them when you send them. And we can make the money from there. That's a space. And she gave it Jos Errand Girls. Fantastic. You can do Kaduna Errand Girls. There's some big people that don't want to go anywhere again. They don't want to talk to the people in the market. And send me anywhere. You collect commission for everywhere you go to, and you make your money.
The space, your space is unoccupied. Number two, declare it. Make it known, even if it's for free, temporarily. You've got to make your space known. I did creative intelligence for free. I can't count it several times. And I still do it for free at times now for some people that cannot afford. I just want to give back to the community. But you've got to do that. You've got to do that. You've got to, at least for free, for some times. Then after some time, you start charging. You can't just go ahead and charge. Nobody knows that space. You must give them entrance into the space before you start charging for the space. Did you get that? It's not just, this might say, I want to make money. No, money should not be number one. Solving a problem should be number one, because your space should be solving a particular problem. Think about it. Think about it. Your space should be solving a particular problem. That's what your space should be doing. It's not, I'm looking for money, let me create this. No. You want to solve a problem, the money will come. Solve problem. The more the problem you're solving, the more the money you get. Seek endorsement when necessary. Sometimes you might need to seek endorsement to help your product. Number four, fence your space. I love this. One of my John Maxwell certified coach, one of the John Maxwell certified coach told me, he said, Muyiwa, I used your claim your space approach. He said, he told you fence your space, but make a gate. Fence your space, but make a gate. You know why you're making gates? Collect gate fee. It's your space. Wow, that's lovely. That is exciting for me. Fence your gate. If you have made a space, then your space is your space. Fence it. Fence it. If it's by copyright, whatever you can do to fence it, make it yours. Don't leave it open. Don't have a fenceless space. Fence it. This program is for Elisha Maman. He fenced this program. He does a lot of programs. Sometimes he will collect money. He told me about some programs he's doing online and all that program, and he charges people. You know what I mean? He fenced it. You've got to fence your space because you need to make a gate so that you can collect a gate fee. Your gate fee is the money you are talking about. That is what launches you to a massive kind of wealth. That's the gate fee. People can pay $1 million if your space provides the kind of solution they need in the world. People pay any amount to get into your space. And that's what is happening now. People are willing to pay. I just called the amount. Okay. I spoke to a lady some days ago. Said you need to be in the creative intelligence class. He said, yeah, $600. It's almost about $280,000 for 3 months. Just about 24 classes, 24 hours. It's about almost 300,000. She said, it's my space. I made a gate and I collected gate fee. But the first thing is you create a space. I'm off. I'm running off now. I think my time should be up now, but that's the truth. That's the end. That's the end. I said, you need to know this. Creative intelligence makes creating and claiming your space easy. You will need to engage creative intelligence to secure. That's the last slide. You will need to engage creative intelligence to secure your space in your area of expertise. Every inventor identified an unoccupied space and claimed it. The spaces are not occupied. Your space is not occupied. So everywhere is occupied. No one can occupy your space. If you don't eventually occupy it, you die like that. You die full. Instead of you to die empty, you die full because you never occupied your space. And if you have found your space, good. And you are comfortable with your space, you are good with your space, good. But we have some people, we are not just satisfied with finding space. We just want to create a space. We have so much assignment to do in the world, globally, than just finding a space and collecting salary. No, that's not me. That's not me. I need to create the space so that others comes into the space. I said creative intelligence will help you in creating and claiming your space. If you don't know about creative intelligence, reach out to me after the class. I will surely show you the way. Don't worry, because I've been talking about the money is expensive. We can find a way around it for you. At least you're in this class, we can find a way around it for you. But you need to pay. If it's going to pay you, you've got to pay. if you want it to pay you too, so that's the truth. But the good thing is that you need to engage creative intelligence to create your space. You need to apply creativity, absolutely, to create your space. I think I will stop there. If there's a question, I can get back. You can get back to me. So thank you, Elisha, for this time. Let me stop there for now. And I believe that you should take some points home as I've shared with you. Don't forget the most exciting quote I gave today was, to be jobless is a choice. To be unemployed is a decision, because unemployment is a state of mind. Yeah, you got it somewhere. Creating your space is there, but you have chosen to be finding space, and there's no space in that CBN you're looking for most times, and those oil companies that you are eyeing, most times that we don't have space there. But if there are spaces, you can get there. But some people are thinking of creating their space. That's why we have Facebook today. If Facebook did not create a space, what is Facebook? LinkedIn, it was a space that was created. What are you talking about? Internet, it was a space that was created. What are you talking about? WhatsApp, space that was created. Snapchat, it was a space by somebody. Alibaba, eBay, space by somebody. What space are you creating? Thank you very much. I think I'm true. Thank you for having me. If you have a question, you could go ahead.
Muyiwa, thank you. That was mind-blowing. Thank you so much, Muyiwa. Thank you. Thank you. I am proud, and I can beat my chest and say, to be JMT is something a man should be proud of.
Yes, sir.
The JMT DNA is really strong. Everywhere we go,
yes,
we are able to do something. I appreciate you so much. Steve is going to be checking if there's any questions, so you will run right away. You will give us some time so we can check if there are questions while me and you were on the screen. You said something I love so much, and the first thing about how to create your space, you said, look within yourself. Look within yourself. I have always shared, and I've told people, I said, the future you want is never outside you. You don't go to the future, you bring out the future. It's always within you. Everything you want is always within you. That's why they say that desire is the starting point of every kind of accomplishments. Why? Because desire is something within. It's something that stirs up from the inside of a person. Another thing I love here is when you talked about look for your gifts. The Holy Book says that the gift of a man maketh room. Room means space. The gift of a man has capacity to make space for the man. And the kind of space that gifts make is not just any space. It creates a space that gives you access to kings, not just any man. Today we have a lot of people, like you told us, a lot of people are okay with finding. And to find a space, to get a job, to get an employment, as good as it is, until a man begin to explore his gifts, he would know his capacity to provide solutions for kings. Gifting is an equipping of God for the fulfillment of purpose. Gifts are important. Talents are important. Inherent abilities are important. They are put there for a reason. They are put there for a specific purpose. They are not decorative. They are not ornaments of beauty. They are vehicles for accomplishments. Gifts and talents are vehicles for accomplishments. You need to identify your gifts. You need to look inside of you. Find out what your talents are. Find out what your gifts are. He called 5, he gave them. He called 2, he gave them. He called 1, he gave them. He gave them talents so they can find expression in their space. Giftings are one of the, I'm emphasizing this because it is one of the things that helps you easily customize your personal life.
Yeah.
We may be able to do the same thing, but we can't deliver it the same way.
The same way, yeah.
Please find your gifts. Look for your talents. Look for your unique ability. That is number 2 point on how to create my space. I kept listening to Muyiwa creating this creative intelligence space. And I didn't know when I told myself, I said, Kai, when will I create something now? She can't wahala with this one again. Muyiwa has created something from Jos. It's now global. When will I create something that will be global? I don't know whether you're like me, but I must create my space.
I think we lost Elisha. I believe we will get back to that.
The person who has the database is the one who has the power. Okay? The person with the database is the one who has the power. All right? All right. So let's move on now to how to offload people from rented platforms like Facebook and Instagram over to your owned platform, which is your email list and maybe your Telegram and co. Okay? There is one thing everybody here needs to master.
And is there any question? Okay. And so I was talking about how to create your space as postulated by Muyiwa. And Muyiwa said so many profound things. Number 3, he said, get adept in it, be skillful. Now listen to me. Your abilities are not skill. It is abilities are raw. Skills are refined. And so when you add training to ability, it becomes skill. When you add improvements to ability, it becomes skill. When you add improvement and enhancements to abilities, they become skill. And that's why number 2, Muyiwa said, find gift. Number 3, become skillful. Why? Because gifts are given, but skills are developed. Gifts, talents are given, but skills are developed. Why? It is the raw ability you receive. It is your ability to train your talent. It is your decision to equip and improve your talent that makes a skill out of what you know how to do. It is skill that secures your space. You may find the space, but by the time you become skillful, it secures the space. So you have to be skillful. You have to improve your ability. You have to train your ability. You have to exercise practice on your ability. When you work on what you know how to do, you will know how to do it better. When you work on what to do, you will know how to do it better. Whatever you are doing, work on it, and you will find yourself doing better at doing it. So develop yourself. You know, Muyiwa said something that Muyiwa said something. He said the road may be blocked, but the way cannot be blocked.
So
Very
the network.
powerful. Yes, the network is
The network is so bad.
We are praying for somebody to create his space in that area. In Nigeria network.
Absolutely. I agree
I know
with
it's
you
not
100%.
me. So I'm speaking to everybody. I know it's not me, but I'm speaking to everybody there. I have created my space. Muyiwa has created his space. Please, somebody out there, do something about the internet stability in Nigeria. That's a massive space. Massive space.
Yeah.
Muyiwa said
Yeah.
the road can be blocked, but the path you are used to may be blocked, but that's not the only way to get to where you're going.
Nigeria.
That's very, very profound.
Wow.
Very profound. That you are used to something does not mean it is the only approved way of accomplishing anything. Please don't forget that. Don't forget that. And those things are amazing. And he said again, lastly, before I saw a question. So we'll put the question. He said something, and he said, the reward of finding your space is salary, but the reward of creating your space is massive. He couldn't even put a figure. It's massive. Imagine somebody collecting 40,000 for 1.5 million. That's huge. That's huge. And we appreciate that. All right. I saw a question here. Put the question on the screen so that Muyiwa can see.
Yeah, I can see the question. I can see the question now.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you start with free. You have to start with free. You cannot just bring up the space and you want to be charging heavily. No. We don't even know what we can get from your space. So we are not willing to pay until we taste it. That's why the Bible says, taste and see. The Lord is good. If you don't taste, how will you know the Lord is good? And that's why they don't charge money to enter the church or to come into the church. They don't charge you to access the Holy Spirit. I mean, because you have to taste it. We have to see what you have to offer in your space. Then when we see what you have to offer in your space, it becomes easy. We can now pay for what I did creative intelligence free. In fact, my wife looks at me sometimes and says, are you the owner of freedom course in the world? Because I just want to give everybody free. But in that free, I got the fees. Did you get that? In that free, there was fees. I got my fees from the free I did. So you start with free, then you move to fees. From free, you remove R, then you have FEE, fee. The R is what you remove after a while. You remove the R, then you get the fees there. Then you can get your fees from there.
So you just do it for a while, then you will know when it's time to collect money. Some people will even suggest it. I'm telling you the truth. People will suggest, this thing you are giving us free. In some places they can't give us free. You will know that it's time to collect money. They are getting value. Then bring it. They need to pay for it. They are willing to pay for it. Some are even willing. You will see the sign and they are willing to pay for it. Then you start small. Don't just go to $1,000 immediately. You can start, gradually. Then you move, But sometimes you can just start with the price you intend to start with. People, those that will pay, and those that will not. I don't want everybody in my class because everybody might not be able to afford the fee. So those that can afford, they come in. How do you know when to start charging? Good. Somebody said, how do you know when? I said you will know because you will see the signals. You will see the signals around that it's time to start. You've done free and people show interest in even willing to pay. They will tell you that even if you want to collect money, we don't mind. We can pay you something. It means that people are already willing to pay at that point. At that point, change it from free to fee. Remove the "how" at that point and make it fee. Question, sir. If I like more clarification with regards to what you said about roads and ways. What is the major difference between a road and a space? How it relates in creating your space? Now, I say this is the road to Banawa. This is the road to Sabo. Do you understand? It's the road. And the road can be blocked for several reasons. But you cannot block all the ways. After all, if you block all the land ways, what about the airspace to Banawa? You cannot block that. So there will always be a way. Even in the wilderness, there is a way according to God. So there will always be a way. That way you cannot block. He said you always make a way where there seems there is no way. Sometimes you even think there is no way, but God makes the way out. So road space means that sometimes when you are in when you want to create a space, you will feel that there's no space. But when you go ahead to create it, you will see that there is a space. So the road could be blocked, but the way is not blocked. The journey to your space will never be blocked if it's your space. Some other people's space might be blocked, but your own space, it won't be blocked. To create my space, is money involved? No, money is not number one to create your space. What I've listed is the things you need to create your space. I didn't put money there because money is not part of it. You cannot, what is the role of money in becoming a comedian, in becoming MC? What is the role of money? There's no money, is not playing any role there now. It's your gift, the gift of the man that makes way. Is not the money of the man. The money of the man does not make, it's the gift. The gift first, then it will attract the money. Question, to create my space, is money involved? No. Money can come in later in some cases, but most spaces, it's not about money. It's not about money. Most places. How do you balance handling pressing daily needs with giving value for free initially in your space? You have to just balance that. You can look for maybe something temporary you are doing. Maybe you are earning salary temporarily. Maybe you found a space and you are just a teacher. You can use that. But being a teacher, you will still be thinking of how can I create my space as a teacher? Do you understand? So you want to earn money, the little you're earning, you manage it, but creating your space is the main thing. And when you're still creating your space as a teacher, for example, if a math teacher and you are doing mathematics clinic, it's your space. And in Kaduna, say, do you go for Charles Maths Clinic? There's one guy, Charles. He does maths clinic once every month. And everybody in Kaduna knows you. If your child is dull and doesn't know maths, go to Charles Mathematics Clinic. That's your space. Charles Mathematics Clinic is your space. But you have been teaching, collecting, managing the money, so you can move from that level. So you can find something doing to just get your funds, but creating your space, you have to start with free. You might not like start with money. If you want to start, nothing is impossible. If you're going to start with money, maybe something small. It might not be totally free, but maybe something small. Okay. Sorry, just to rephrase my question. I meant to ask that with regards to roads and ways, what is the significant difference with regards to creating a space? Thank you so much. I've said it. Road is just a dimension, is a way to get to a place. Way, you cannot say you block a way. You can only say you block the road. Road block. They will not say way block, road block, because there could be other means of accessing that area apart from that road. And so in life, do not always see road only when they say it's blocked. Why people are turning to unemployment? Because they see that the road to employment is blocked. But the way to the way to employment is not blocked. There are ways to employment. One of these is creating your space. That's the way, to employment. And that's it. So I think I've answered most of these questions. Yeah. Thank you. Do we need a one-on-one mentorship before we can create a unique space? Yeah, in some cases you might need, but in some cases I recommend it. I recommend it. Yes, I recommend it. It's good. I recommend it. If you have to get a mentor to help you out, and your mentor is not going to provide money for you or anything, but your mentor will guide you, step by step, to arrive at where he is or greater. Because my joy, if I'm mentoring you, is to become greater than I am. How do you get endorsed when you create your space? That's why sometimes you need interactions or networking with other people. If you, for example, those in my creative intelligence class now, they started some projects, and I'm seeking for endorsement for them. We're working out endorsement for them. So if you are with the right connection, the right network, the right company, you could talk to them about endorsement at any level. You can talk to your mentor about endorsement too. There are some that might not need endorsement, but if you are doing something that you want to make global, sometimes it might need a degree of endorsement. There are some, don't bother by endorsement first. If you are doing something good, they can even international bodies can come to you and they can endorse it without you calling them. If you are doing something great, I'm speaking to Harab in an innovative and creativity and innovative week, Harab, and I'm going to have a meeting with them this week. I just told them this, my name is what I do, and they want to have a meeting with me, the Arab nations. So it's if you're doing the right thing, if you know your place and you take charge of your space, you will attract endorsement. And if you don't attract, you can go talk to people about that. How do you get endorsement? So I think that's all about the question. For cases, okay, questions are coming in. For cases like catering, sales of physical product, is the free strategy? No. If you are going to go into catering, I'm not saying you can't do it free, but don't let your fee be very, very high. If they don't know what you can offer, they don't want to pay so much. You understand? At least tell your friend that I can do help you with a birthday cake. Just pay for materials. You won't use your money for materials for the cake or the rice and the meat. Let them just pay for those ones and let them have a taste. Okay, let me give you an example. I was MC about 7-8 years down with line. I used to practice. I was MC, and the first MC I didn't charge, but I did it so well. So from that day, when I was going that day, somebody just called me and said, "Hey, MC." I said, "Oh, so I'm MC now." I was just uncle, NCCF secretary. That was what I did, and the person felt I was good. I was going to be good with MC. So he said, "Muyiwa, you're going to be my MC in my wedding." And when it was wedding time, he called me. "Muyiwa, it's my wedding. You are the MC." I said, "No problem." I did the MC. It was fantastic. So people knew me as MC that day, and I was not MC. So one person approached me, said, "See, I'm going to have my wedding. Please, can you be my MC?" I said, I charge. It's not free. I charge. Because they made me to know that I can charge. So I started charging. So at least you will just offer yourself, let them pay for the materials. If they want, then from there, you will start talking about the prices for charging in the next contract. Thank you. So for those ones, free is not available if you are selling a product. You can't be selling it free. But let them see that the product, the fish roll you do, the pop-off you do is nice. Don't call it 500 naira. Let it be something they can afford first. Then when they afford it, you can up the game when they enjoy it. There are some people that their kose is so nice that you can pay 100 naira for just one kose. There are more that they sell for 500 naira, 1,000 naira. I mean, you can't start your own like that. You can't start your own like that. You have to just start with maybe 100 naira and all that. Then you up the game and gradually you move from free to fee. Don't forget it. From free to fee. You remove the R. Just remove the R. You move from free. Remove the R. Gradually, it becomes fee. You pay the fee. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Muyiwa, we love you so much. Thank you so much for
We
being
love you,
here
sir.
today.
We love you, sir.
Appreciate you. We
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you for the dose of great wisdom. We thank you for bringing clarity. We thank you for bringing simplicity to our platform. The winning mindset honor you. The winning mindset celebrate you. I and my team, all of us here are saying thank you for making out time so you could bless the world. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the
And I
space
believe,
you have
and I
created.
believe, sir. Sorry,
I'm
sir.
listening.
And I believe, sir, that very soon, I will be in Kaduna. We have to do something live in Kaduna very soon. My mind goes there always, and I'm open to that. Thank you.
Certainly, certainly. We will have you come over very, 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 very soon. Our live meetings are going to start very soon. We're looking at how we are going to ensure all COVID protocols are being observed. And the moment we get what we need to get in place, we may, and I think it's possible, we may launch live meetings again in March 2021. And the plan is to bring back the energy. The plan is to bring back the influence. The plan is to bring back the grace that we carry so we can move the dream of everyone living the life they desire effectively. Listen to me, every one of you who has been here with us. Muyiwa told us your space is available. Stop going about and saying there's no space for me. Your space is available. Muyiwa told us that your space is unoccupied. Because you have done nothing about it, it is unoccupied. No wonder Jesus told us, he said, occupy till I come. Occupation is a practical thing. You don't occupy until you take action. It is taking action, like all the actions that has been listed, that will give you room to occupy your space. Ladies and gentlemen, he said your space is free. To take advantage of what God has given you is free. Like he rightly told the person, it's not everything you want to start in life that you must consider money first. There's a lot much more in life than money. Thank you so much, everyone. There's something going on our screen. Take a screenshot of today. Take a screenshot of the screen, whatever. I think I'm not seeing it anymore. And take a screenshot and share. Tag the Winning Mindset on Instagram. Tell the world Winning Mindset is back, and the value on that platform is unmatched anywhere. We give you value for your time. And we love every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for knowing that we are here for you. Thank you, and thank you very much. We look forward to March edition. Like we said, follow our page. If you are not a member of the Winning Mindset community, you can join. And there you get all the information you need. The Winning Mindset has a Telegram group. The Winning Mindset has a WhatsApp group whereby every information is passed for the things that we do on a regular basis. So thank you once again. I don't know if he has anything to say. Does he have anything to say?
I wore blue today. Now I know this does not in any way change the price of rice in the market. But let me land now. Blue is the color of love. Okay, I think I'll rephrase that. Blue is my color of love. Maybe because it is my favorite color, my favorite person's favorite color, or the color that represents the place that I call home and the people that I call family. Blue changed my life. Okay, that sounded so dramatic, but I wore blue today. Now I know this does not in any way change the price of rice in the market. But let me land now. Blue is the color of love. Okay, I think I'll rephrase that. Blue is my color of love. Maybe because it is my favorite color. My favorite.
Okay, once again, this is Elisha Mama, the convener of the Winning Mindset. I love every one of you. Thank you for being a huge part of my life, my story, and my success. Thank you for giving me room to bring my space to you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for how you do what you do. We love every one of you, and we want to say thank you and God bless you. See you in March. Prepare to see me live. God bless every one of you, and thank you very much.